Good afternoon, my most beauteous and bountiful babes and babettes. As I rapidly switch accents, this is just going to be a quickie because I was not able to find the information I was looking for. The video I was going to make today would have been about the calls to action in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that have actually been acted upon in Canada. Good news that I received from, I don't know necessarily if I would call him a consultant, but I go to him from time to time for information about these things. Good news, and he is a residential school survivor. Good news, digression, is that it's not 6 of the TRC's calls to actions that have been upheld thus far. It's 9. Count it. 9. It's still a single-digit number. 9 out of 94, which is less than 10%. Government, you want to try a little harder? Church, you want to try a little harder? I'm looking at you. Yes, I am. I might not be able to see out of one of my eyes, but I am looking at you. I am looking at you, and I'm judging you. Okay, so I Googled multiple times and multiple iterations of which of the calls to action in Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission have thus far been upheld or acted upon. Or, like I say, multiple variations on this question. Nothing. And my consultant sort of guy, he didn't know either, by the way. I did ask him, but he didn't know. He said it was 9, but he didn't know which 9. So, as I say, I was Googling this for a really, really long time, and I'm really annoyed because I didn't find it, but I'm also confused. This is the cause for confusion for me because with Canada's holier-than-thou attitude that we generally have in regards to, but we're not like this country, namely America, you would think that these things would be easily Googleable, okay? I don't care if that's a word, I like it. You would think that these things would be easily found on Google, right? Because you would think that we would want to brag about our progress thus far. Turns out that's not the case. Then again, the TRC was put in place in the early 2000s. I was not very old in the early 2000s. Like, I was born in 1990. So, really, year 2000, I would have been 10. And if it was around that point that there was news coming out about the TRC and all the progress it had made at that point, I probably would have ignored it because I was still a kid and doing kid stuff. But yeah, it is interesting though that I did hear, and I fully believe this to be true considering the general lack of action towards any substantial and systemic change. I did hear that it's mostly the symbolic ones, as I said yesterday, that have been thus far enacted, like stating that indigeneity, indigenous identity and language and religion and custom, that's all very important to Canadian identity. Making that statement, yes, but not actually doing anything. And that's the reputation that I think a lot of governments have, not just Canada's. But basically what we need to do if we are being resident active advocates is that we need to bully our governments. Plural, because I know that I'm talking to not just Canadians here, but we need to bully our governments into making systemic change, okay? I fully 100% advocate for non-violent anarchy, but until that goal can be attained, I don't want any fires. I don't want more raids on the White House. That was not a pleasant day, even in Canada, all right, because we get a lot of American news up here. Back in January, that whole Storm the Bastille thing that the alt-right made go down in Washington, D.C. That was not fun even up here. A couple of people died, was not a good look. But Canada's not much better, to be quite honest. I don't think our parliament has ever been stormed, and especially not by its own citizens, but we need to collectively do something and not wait on the government, because they will never do anything which in any way would make them, 1, look bad, or 2, lose any modicum whatsoever of their power or their public image. So what we need to do is force their hand. And that's pretty much the video for today. I'm really sorry I don't have any more information than that. I was hoping that this video would be a bigger deal and I could actually get into what we have done versus what we have not and say, get off your asses, But I do say, get off your asses and get louder, as I always do, or which I like to do. The only way real change is going to happen is through the people. The government will never do it, okay? We have to do it. So that's where I stand on this. If you agree with me, amazing. If you don't, okay, I'm not going to be condescending and say, well, you have the right to your opinion, I just don't agree with it. That's the sentiment, but I'm not going to express it that way. If you don't agree, think about why. I'm not going to automatically say either that you're a racist, because 100% I don't believe that. It could be just a matter of education, it could be a matter of perspective, but, oppressed minorities deserve not to be oppressed, because in the grand scheme of things, actually, pretty much any single group on Earth you can name is a minority when surrounded by all the other groups that you can name. There's no such thing as us, there's no such thing as them. We're all a collective, and we're all them to someone else and us to ourselves. So if these things are all relative, we need to work relatively as well. We need to work for one another. That's the whole idea behind the TRC, for one thing, but that's also the whole idea behind what I'm attempting to do here. And I hope it makes some semblance of a difference. I could just be doing this for myself. And I'm okay with that, because I like to talk to a camera for some reason. Even my usual advisor / best friend, she said to me, I could never do what you do on YouTube. And I'm like, yes, you could. She doesn't agree with me, but, she's smarter than me, quite frankly. But I'm also more of an idealist than she is. So hopefully I found a good stomping ground here, because I really like doing what I do. And on Monday, because I take weekends off, and that was my transition, on Monday, because I take weekends off, we are going to dive right into one of the prettiest legal documents I have ever read in my life, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous, it's either peoples or persons, okay? I hope it's peoples, because persons sounds like one of those words that shouldn't be a word. But because I am a jackass, and for the sake of brevity, I am going to call it the UNDRIP. Look at the acronym, that's exactly what it spells out, come on. And we're going to get into that on Monday, and it's very, very pretty, and we're going to have a very, very good time with this new lovely series. And I hope you have enjoyed the series on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada. Please share. I'm not even saying like, comment, subscribe. I'm saying share. Share this. More people need to know this. Share it. Thank you. I will see you on Monday. Mwah.